Figuring it out will make you fail. Let's dig in a little bit. Figuring it out how? There's a lot of folks that are trying to get it all figured out before they start anything, before they start any new program, new learning, start their business, start figuring out relationships, start losing weight. And you can read books on people's personal stories. You can read science, whether that's people just talking about the science, or whether you're actually digging into abstracts or research or whatever else you want to do. And none of that will actually get it done for you. Reading's not going to get it done for you. Watching videos is not going to get it done for you. Increasing your knowledge is not going to get it done for you. You got to be willing to get out there and do it. And a little bit of information can be very helpful, particularly if you take a little information, you go apply it, and then you try to figure out what worked well, what didn't work well. You try to get a little more information, go apply it. That's a very good model. But for most of us, I wouldn't even worry with the information. Just get started on something. Don't be foolish. Don't do something brain dead. Don't try to run a marathon today if you've never run one before. Obvious stuff, hopefully. But get started. Getting started is the key element, and trying to figure things out too much will just lead you to spin your wheels. There is endless information. You can study information on little aspects of that. You can study information on fasting for the rest of your life. You can probably study information on one aspect of fasting for the rest of your life, and that's going to be one aspect, or at least it's one aspect of the Frankenstein diet I've pulled together for my fat loss. And I suspect it'll be the same for you if you choose to use it. You don't necessarily have to. But on one little aspect of the subject of fat loss, you can study the rest of your life for it and only scratch the surface. Hopefully you want to get some of the results, and hopefully sooner rather than later. Now, you do have to respect long-term thinking. It does take time, and really you want to make the change where it's permanent, not just get some quick results and then move on to something else and go right back to where you were in terms of weight. But this desire to have everything figured out, it's sort of a defense mechanism against the unknown, against the fear of actually going out and having to learn. The cool thing about going out and having to learn, nothing gives you confidence like that because it's real. Having everybody tell you what's work and what will work, and having tons of research at your fingertips, that might give you confidence for winning arguments. But winning rhetorical arguments doesn't make changes in the real world. It's not going to change your weight one bit. You can be 500 pounds and have a medical dictionary worth of knowledge in your head and be able to out-argue me and anybody else that shows up telling you something different than what you believe on fat loss. But again, what you say you believe doesn't really matter. What results are you getting? Are you willing to actually get out there and take the risk of trying, failing, trying again a few times to figure out something that's going to work? It's really not that hard. It seems scary before you get started, but once you get started, you understand you've already taken the challenging step, and then it's just the question of keep going. I apologize if the camera is shaking here. It's a little chilly. But you got to get started. That's where the magic is. More than listening to me or reading a bunch of stuff. I love you listening to my stuff. This is absolutely critical stuff and you should listen to it. But more importantly than that, you should get started. And then the information's nice. The information can help you keep adjusting and correct course and get better and better and better. You can get as good as you want at this, but you have to get started. Listening or reading or anything else with my stuff or anybody else's stuff is nice, and maybe it gives you some useful things, but if you don't get started, it won't be useful for you. You'll just take up more space in your brain, and you'll sit in the same place until you decide to drop all that, drop trying to figure it all out, and just get started. That's where the magic is. And I mean magical, not like wizards and stuff, but the experience you'll have, the confidence you'll have, the feeling of being alive you'll have once you get started. There's nothing like that. I think magical's the best term for it. I'm Ben Langley. Thank you very much for spending some time with me today. We'll talk again soon.